Okay, hey guys, as I told you, we're skipping chapter 7.5. This is the last section for this chapter before we are going to do the test, and it deals with a formula that we call the quadratic formula, which you hopefully have studied already by now, because I always want you to go through the textbook, work through the examples before you get to the movies, so that you have some background when you get here. On page 346, we're going to do number 25, and it tells you to use any method you choose to solve the equation, but I'm going to tell you we're going to use the quadratic formula because I want to show you how this quadratic formula works. And in the next movie, I'll show you how the quadratic formula fits with a normal parabola. Okay, so they give us an equation here, x squared is equal to minus 5x is equal to minus 6. In order to use the quadratic formula, I have to change this around. I have to take this to the other side. I have to say x squared plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. For the quadratic formula, I always have to have my equation equal to 0. What is the reason for that? The reason for that is simple. Let's just quickly show you. The quadratic formula gives you what we sometimes refer to in math as the zeros of a parabola. So if this parabola looked something like this, say it looked something like that, it cuts the y-axis here at 6, then what we are looking for is those 2 points where the parabola crosses the x-axis. And this is what you are going to get. The answers for this is what you are going to get when you do this equation. Okay? And what is the value for y here? Y is 0. Okay? X has a value, say whatever we're going to find out now. Y, its value is 0. So that is why we put the whole equation equal to 0. Okay? Now we can go, we can incorporate our wonderful little formula, which after a while you remember, plus or minus, but if you're my age, you sometimes still don't remember, b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then you go and you plug in your a, b, and c from this equation, remembering that this is a, this is b, and this is c. Okay? So, plug that in, and b is minus 5 plus or minus, okay, b squared is 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 6. Okay? And then we have, below the line, we have 2 times 1, because a is 1. Okay, so now always work out what is inside the square root sign first. Okay? We didn't plug in for b here. What is b here? This is minus 5. Okay? So, minus 5 plus or minus, first work out whatever is inside there, that's 25. And then minus 4 times 6 gives you 24, so that is minus 24, alright, over 2. Okay, now what we're going to get in here is 25 minus 24, that gives us 1, and we know that the root of 1 is 1. Okay, so we're dealing with minus 5 plus or minus 1 over 2. And here we go and we split it into 2 parts, because there's a plus and there's a minus. There's always a plus or a minus. Okay, so we're going to say first minus 5 plus 1 over 2, okay, which gives us minus 4 over 2, and that is minus 2. Okay, the other one is minus 5 minus 1 over 2. Okay, so that gives me minus 6 over 2, and that is minus 3. So the 2 zeros, now obviously I just drew it. The 2 zeros, if I would draw on my axis, the 2 zeros would be -2 and -3. So we're here and there. It crosses the y-axis there. So our parabola would look something like this. These two values that you got here means it's this and this. Okay, that is the bit that the textbook doesn't tell you, doesn't really tell you how it fits in. But your friend Imran asked a question and it was a very clever question. How do these things all fit in? Here, I used the formula, the quadratic formula minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and what formula do I use here to get that x? Minus b over 2a, just that. So this is the vertex formula. It gives you x at the vertex. This is the quadratic formula. It gives you the solution for x when y is 0. That and that. Okay. I'll give you another example in the next movie.